What's up, everybody? It's Jackrabbit here, back with another video. Power Rangers, of course, but today I'll be talking about the 30th reunion special. Mighty Morphin, Power Rangers, Once and Always. I'm just gonna put a non-spoiler spoiler warning on this bad boy. If you haven't seen it, leave video and come back after you've seen it. Because, yeah, I can't talk about this thing without spoiling. I'm sorry, guys. I can't do it. And we also know how good Jack is about going back and doing spoiler videos. So, I'm just going to do it once. Okay, so the special opens up and we see Billy laying on the ground. Looks like he's been in a fight, but he's not morphed. And so he gets up, and he's in a fight with Rita and some buddies. Robo Rita and some buddies. So no, they do not. I'm not going to go through and say everything. But yes, the jokes were on point. I mean, I did kind of wish a little they didn't use the overlay. But I don't know if they used... Because there's a few times. Like, especially when right before Trini dies. I know for a fact that was her... That was actually... I think that was actually Trini's voice. I'm not for sure. But it sounded like her. Like, if that was a voiceover double, that was a pretty good voiceover double, because it definitely sounded like her. The jokes are on point. The characters were on point. We do know that the Alpha now is Alpha 9. No, we're missing a couple Alphas in there. Except for Alpha 8. We know what happened to Alpha 8. But what happened to Alpha 7? Pretty sure I know what happened to Alpha 5. Oh, and they do address Billy and the Alquatar thing at the end. So I'll just discuss that more towards the end. But they do explain how Robo Rita's back. And I don't know, I did see some fan theories and they were pretty spot on. But there was more to it. Which was, so after the fight, and after the fight and Trini dies, I hate using that word, but dies, Zach and Billy are at Trini's house, which apparently she wasn't married, and apparently Daddy's not in the picture, so whoever Daddy was, not in the picture. So Billy and Zach are arguing how to tell Min about Trini. And classic TV show, classic 90s thing, she walks in the room and overhears the argument. Okay. So, yeah. So yeah, there's that. So that's how she finds out. Ouch. And then there's a 1-year time gap. They're looking for Rita. And so Zach, we're trying to figure out, okay, who's also going to help take care of Min? Because Min's still like teenage. I'd say 16, 17, something like that. So she's not, old enough where she can take care of herself, but not old enough that she's not old enough to take care of herself, so someone has to be with her. So after the year time gap, they show what's on the mailbox, which is Trini's last name, and then it says Taylor. So apparently Zach took care of Min. Don't really know what Zach was up to, but go Zach. Go Zach. And they also show her training. Min training. I like that they had her name as Min because it's easy to say. Min training, and she's using the praying mantis style, which, if you guys remember, is the same kind of style that Trini used as well. So that's interesting. That Trini trained in. So that's interesting. I don't know if Trini taught it to her or if Zach taught it to her later. I'm going to take a guess because of what happens later that it was the other way around. So I'm guessing she goes back to the house. Zach's there, all that. They're talking about going to, I guess they're going to the grave for some reason. Taking flowers to the grave, stuff like that. Yeah. So then as they're walking up to it, and they rode in the rad bug, too. But, because it's upgraded. It's awesome, and it's upgraded. It's convertible now, too. But yeah, so, and you just hear Rangers morphing in the background. You hear Tyrannosaurus, Pterodactyl, Dragonzord. So then, of course, since it's Rita, Min wants to get in the fight, but Zach won't let her. And that's part of the story of the movie, is Min learning what it's truly like to be a ranger. But of course, in the process of the fight, Jason, Kimberly, Tommy get captured. Okay, so it wasn't like a off-screen thing. Now, the rest of the Rangers that Rita captures throughout the special, they are done via off-screen. We don't see that, because it really does focus on this section of the Mighty Morphin team. Rocky, Catherine, Zach, Billy, Min, and seeing small bits from Aisha and Adam. Very small bits, but we do see them, so it works. But as I was saying, but so they go back to the house and they're arguing because, Min wanted to get in the fight and all that. And she says to Billy, "This is all your fault. What happened to Mama is your fault." Yeah, well, to cut forward a little bit, we find out from later that Billy was experimenting trying to get Zordon back, thinking that there might be in the Z-Wave that took out Rita and Zed, turned Rita and Zed and all the villains good, that there might have been a little bit of Zordon's essence left so they could pull him back. But what he didn't think about what would be in that Z-Wave would be the evil essence of Rita, Zed, and all that. So in the process, so they found some essence they thought, and it was powerful. They thought it might be Zordon's. So they poured it into an energy tube like what Zordon was in before. But it wasn't Zordon's, which caused a crack in the tube. Ironically, at the same exact spot, in the same way, how Andros cut the energy tube in space. Ironic. They did that on purpose, but it was hilariously awesome. And the Rita essence gets out and takes over the Alpha that Billy currently had in the command center, which was Alpha 8 at the time. So technically we get two different versions of Alpha, but they look exactly the same. Same body and all that. So that's how Roto Reba's back. That makes sense. That's logical. Other than Billy, you shouldn't be playing with things you don't know about. But, okay, And they explain where the new command center comes from. And probably why the Zords are back. They didn't say it, but I'm pretty sure this is why the Zords are back. Billy. Of course. He rebuilt the command center and turned it into his tech company so that way, the Ranger business can be hidden. But you would also have the tech he would need to build like the Zords and any of their gadgets and all that. But yeah, so after the cemetery thing, they activated what's called Barbona. I can't say her name, but Rita's Japanese counterpart's name. They had a protocol, and all the Rangers go to their assigned stations. And Zach says, all right, we're about to have visitors in 3, 2, 1. First one that teleports in is Catherine. And she says, I was helping out at JJ's karate thing. And I get a message to teleport. What is going on? Like she knows something's up. And then Rocky, in typical Rocky fashion. I love Rocky. Typical Rocky fashion. He teleports in. Apparently he's a firefighter now. He's like, is this another training thing? I just finally got a chance to get lunch. And they're like, no, Rita's back. And then Catherine says, oh, so Jason, Kimberly, and Tommy are all fighting her? He's like, no, they're captured. And then silence for a second. And you look over at Catherine's face. She looks worried. So if you guys didn't see Dimensions in Danger, if you haven't, I definitely suggest watching it. But it's established that Catherine, after the events of Dino Thunder, Catherine and Tommy get married. They do have a son named JJ. And if you guys read the Soul of the Dragon graphic novel that they released, Tommy and Catherine are married. And they have a son named JJ. Ironic. Say not? Definitely not. That was on purpose. Because the Soul of the Dragon comic is canon to the TV show. So, thank you, Bandai, for that. Thank you, Boom Studios Comics, for that. Especially Boom Studios. Thank you for that. But yeah, so they are work. So yes. So then, of course, after they get the proxy power coins, which Rita does it, Billy explains, they've been experimenting with it. And of course, both Rocky with proxy power coins. Now, if you remember from Wild West Rangers, they said too much pink energy or too much energy from one power is dangerous. Catherine flat out says, I don't care. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger. And of course, Rocky takes his too. But I think is what they were talking about in Wild West Ranger was one person can't possess two power coins of the same power. So like 2 pterodactyl coins or 2 Tyrannosaurus coins, something like that. That's what I always took it as. I could be wrong, but that's just what I took it as. Okay, so I'm yawning here. So yeah, there's that. So they go into their big first fight. They run into Minotaur and Snizzard. Rocky almost gets captured. What else is new? So they teleport away because the fight's not going great to try to get away. And then that's when Alpha figures out that the bad guys are tracking the Rangers from them being morphed. So he calls the Rangers while they're still fighting and saving people, of course. hey, you need to demorph, otherwise they're going to be able to track you. So they demorph and then teleport away. After Minotaur and Sinister, of course, show up. But yes, and then shortly after they get back to the command center, they're figuring out a plan to stop Rita. Of course, and that's when they figure out Min, in the meantime, while they're all fighting, grabs the saber-tooth tiger and coin and the power morpher from the house, goes to the juice bar, and tries to morph and get into a fight with the putties. She actually somewhat holds her own. But she does get overpowered. And she is not able to morph with the power coin. With the morpher. Because she hasn't proven herself worthy yet. So not anybody can just pick up a power. That's good to know. You gotta be worthy of it. And so yeah. So that's what happens there. And of course, they Zach and Rocky show up and save her. Messing with this place, big mistake. I still love that line. So they get in a fight with him, and Zach does use his Hippocaketo, which apparently Min had never seen him do. Come on, that's awesome. Hippoketo's awesome. And how had you never actually seen that? But she had never seen it. So yeah, there's that. There's that. And so after that, they go back to the command center, and of course, Zach gets in a fight with Min about her morphing and all that. He tries to explain what it means to be a ranger to her. She doesn't quite get it yet. Still got that revenge in her mind. Okay, so they set up a plan to capture Snizzard and Minotaur. Which, of course, works, because they're too stupid. Stupid monsters. I would like to know who did the voices for Minotaur and Snizzard in this special. Credits didn't say. So. Sorry about that, everybody. Little yawning. I apologize. But yeah, so there's that. So there's that. So I'm not sure what the plan there is. But, so of course, Min gets a little upset. We should destroy them. We should destroy them. So after the Rangers went off to do the final battle up at Rita's moon base, of course. Good to see that place back. But of course, Min goes off on her own, and she grabs one of the stealth techs, like what the Rangers do, and she goes off on her own, and she tries to free Minotaur and Snizzard so she could destroy them herself. Of course, again, the power coin doesn't work because she's not quite there. She hasn't proven herself to be worthy. She's too focused on revenge. And Rita shows up. And Min tries to fight Rita without any help. No morpher. No nothing. In a pretty good civilian fight. I mean, they actually... Charlie, who played Trini, Min, dang good fighter, I'd say. Definitely, yeah, they definitely did some work on that one, finding her. But in the meantime, of course, she loses the fight, of course, and gets captured, of course. And in the meantime of that, Zach, Catherine, Rocky, and Billy go up to the moon base and they capture and they destroy some putties, and then they figure out what Rita's machine does, which is it's some form of time porter, of course. And that's when Rita shows up with, of course, Min captured. So Billy thinks of a plan. He actually, behind his back, he summons his Blade Blaster. I didn't know they could do that, but that was cool. Sorry, that was cool. Shoots it at Snizzard, starts a big fight. Zack jumps in trying to help. Tries to fight Minotaur without morphing. Rocky basically tries to Superman punch Rita. Doesn't go well. And then, of course, Catherine jumps in, and she does decent, but it doesn't exactly end well. And in the process of the fight, Billy gets knocked to the ground again. And Rita's about to blast him like she did earlier when she destroyed Trini. But instead, Min intercepts the shot, and she gets hit hard. Now, mind you, she's not morphed. So they're worried that she got killed. Of course, Rita's being all smack-talky. But if you look at her jacket, it's turned... At the spot where the morpher would be, turned yellow. She's okay. She has... In her eyes, she has some flashback memories of Trini as a ranger, which is really cool. And, and of course, Rangers win. Of course, the Rangers... Of course, she's okay. The morpher starts growing yellow. And it's like, you know what that means. She finally proved herself worthy to the morpher. And they're like, do you want to say it? And she says it. It's morphin time. Which is fine with me because Billy had a chance to say it's morphin time. Zack had a chance to say it. And those are basically the two leaders. Let's let Min have a chance. That's cool. Of course, there's a fight. And at one point, Catherine is going to shoot Rita, but Rita's standing right in front of the console where the other Rangers are. Specifically, Tommy. A minifigure Tommy. And Rita's like, you don't want to shoot me because you might destroy your friends. Puts her finger right up by the Tommy one. I'm like, oh, you dirty little booger. Don't you dare. And it's actually really cool because, now I don't remember this actually happening in the show. She summons it's almost like a light arrow to shoot with the bow. That is cool. I don't remember her ever at Kimberly, or on the show, it ever actually doing that with the power bow. I thought it just shot him, like, randomly. But that's cool. That's very cool. And I will say this. The suits looked... especially in the helmets, a little bit shinier. Like, Hasbro spent some money and had these suits remade. Because they ain't cheap to make. So, there's that. And all the suits look, chef kissed. So, of course, and then, as the course of the fight, Rita throws Snizzard, over the balcony, and then she throws her staff out and says the line, "It's time to make my monster grow." And right after she does that, she gets stabbed by Billy's Paralance. She is not destroyed, but she is knocked out. So then Billy goes with Min and summons, and they get the Dino Megazord out, which is looking kind of chef kiss, looking good. Though you can tell they used the Zap Megazord mold, but that's okay. So they fight. Min and Billy fight Snizzard in the Megazord, and Zack, Catherine, and Rocky fight Minotaur in the palace. Okay? And Min, I love it, because Min actually asked Billy, how do I pilot this thing? He's like, just do what I do. It'll come second nature to you. Like, thank you for acknowledging that. Didn't have to, but thank you. But then, so first, Rocky, Zach, and Catherine, I almost want to say Aisha for some reason, defeat Minotaur. So then they go help in the Megazord, which leaves Rita open. In the process of the Megazord fight, which the Rangers do win, Rita opens the time portal and almost escapes. But of course the Rangers make it there just in time. Save the other Rangers, save the day, of course, like always. Of course, at the end, after they say bye to Adam and Aisha, who take the other Rangers for healing on Aquitar, they mentioned Billy's little girlfriend. They do address that. Those two are still together. I guess Billy just, since he doesn't have his aging thing anymore, he goes from Aquitar to Earth whenever he's needed. But he said he still had some Cranston Industry things to handle. Is there a chance he might show up in Cosmic Fury? I mean, he said Cranston Industries. He said it. Maybe. That'd be nice. So then the last scene, I was really hoping Bulk and Skull would show up. Oh, there was a tease for Bulk and Skull, like a little advertisement thing. But I was hoping Bulk and Skull would show up. They had a final juice balls. They said they were going to the juice bar to get after Catherine, Rocky, and all them left. Rocky, of course, had to throw one last joke in an alpha about throwing away his noodles. So he was hungry. Good old Rocky. But, good old Rocky. But they had a last scene at the juice bar, and Ernie's name was mentioned. And I was really hoping Bulk and Skull would show up and cause trouble, and those two get beat up for one last time for old time's sakes. But they didn't show up. It was actually a very heartwarming scene. It was sweet. It was nice. Good way to let off the special. Oh, and they did have a special song at the end from Amy Jo Johnson, which was really sweet. So she did do something for the special. She just didn't appear on camera, which is fine. And it was a tribute to both Tweak, Train, and Jason David Frank. It's really sweet. And then, of course, we did get a new version of the Mighty Morphin opening scene, kind of, with an updated version of the song, which was really cool. All right, that's it. I really like the special. Let me know what you all think of it down in the comments. All right, peace.